Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is March 2nd, 2023, and this is volume 23 of me answering your immigration related questions. Before we begin, I'm going to mention that this is not a legal advice. I'm not an immigration attorney. All the information that I provide in these videos are directly from official government sources like USCIS.gov, state.gov, and so forth. So, without further ado, let's start with the very first question from Samirovic. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. I'm US citizen and I forgot my certificate. Marriage. Foreign language. My case was denied, so what do you think? File another application or file appeal notice? Okay, Samirovic, if you can provide a little bit more information about your case, what kind of case you had. I'm assuming if you are a US citizen and you're filing something with a marriage certificate, maybe petitioning for alien relative or spouse, maybe, I'm not sure, but if you provide a little bit more information, it'll be helpful. But to answer your question, the best course of action, the best thing to do is read through that denial that you received from USCIS. Read that final notice. Most of the times in that notice, USCIS will tell you what options you have. Can you submit an appeal? Or maybe you have an option to just resubmit, to basically ask them to reopen the case, to submit the case for reconsideration. Basically just submitting the evidence that you have missed, the reason why your case was denied, and then asking them, hey, sorry guys, here it is, please reopen my case and basically reconsider it. So that would be the best thing to do. But again, if you provide a little bit more information, I might be able to give you a little bit more details. All right, let's move on to question from Larissa McBruss. Again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Could you make a video about what questions they typically ask during the interview? Okay, so that was a question on petition for alien relative. So I'm assuming you're asking a question about the interview at the embassy for the beneficiary, right? So USCIS approved, NVC documentally qualified, the case is transferred to the embassy, the medical exam is done, and now the beneficiary is finally going to that very last stage, the very last interview, where they will hopefully get the immigrant visa. Actually, excellent question, and I'm definitely going to make a separate video, but to give you an answer, give you some value in this video. Basically, on that interview, consul or whoever's taking the interview at the US Embassy, they want to establish the intentions for the immigration for the beneficiary. That's really it. So the beneficiary, they have to be aware of basic things like where they're going, where they're staying. Maybe possibly they will ask them, what are you planning to do there? You know, are you planning to find some work? Are you planning to, stuff like that. And another very, very important thing that they always concentrate in are the financial documents from the sponsors, from the petitioner. If petitioner has the joint sponsors, their documents, tax returns, especially tax returns. And it's really good for the beneficiary to have a basic understanding of these documents. Like, for example, tax returns. For someone who doesn't live in the United States of America, tax returns, it might be a little bit something, like, I'm not sure what it is. What is a tax return? What is a tax transcript, for example? But if the beneficiary have the basic understanding of these documents, and then they can provide them during the interview, and kind of have basic ability of navigating through these documents, again, it demonstrates that the beneficiary done their research and they really are, they understand where they're going, and they really are planning to immigrate to the United States. Not just, for fun, but actual plans for the immigration, because after all, they're applying for an immigrant visa. But I'll definitely make a separate video for this because that's a really, really great question. I do get a lot of questions about the family immigration. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to do that. All right, let's move on to the next one from Mel B. Do you need a job offer to apply? And that was a question on I-765, which is the application for employment authorization document. No, you do not need a job offer to apply for employment authorization document. What you need is the eligibility for it, because employment authorization document, yes, it is technically you're applying for the document, you're applying for this employment authorization card, but at the end of the day, what this card kind of signifies is your eligibility, your status to be able to work in the United States of America. So in that video, application for employment authorization, I go through eligibility requirements. Just go to that page on USCIS.gov. Actually, an opportunity for me to demonstrate how to navigate USCIS.gov. Here it is. It's the very front page of the website. So we're going to go to forms. I'm going to click on forms right here at the very top of the navigation menu, and then all forms. And then here you can scroll down. It's a numerical alphabetic order, or you can just type in whatever you're looking for, like 765 for example, and I will bring that application for employment authorization right away. And if you click on the instructions in the forms and documents, you will be able to find all of the different eligibilities, and you can see who may file form I-765. This gives you the list of everyone who is eligible to apply for employment authorization document. Okay, so I'm gonna place this, and then we're gonna move on to the next one from Mohammed Ben Zaid. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mohammed, for watching. I'm glad this was helpful. Moving on further to Dinesh Kumar. Parent present in USA, adjustment of status applied through citizen daughter on October 14th, 2021. After 90 days, fingerprint done on February 2nd, 2022. Work permit received on May 2nd, 2022. How much time will take adjustment of status green card? Your honorable sir. No need for, definitely nothing honorable here, but thank you. Appreciate the respect, Dinesh. And looks like your case is moving along very, very well. Let's see. So applied October 2021, and then the fingerprint was done on February 2022. So that's November, December, January. Definitely on time. So 4 months usually for the processing, and then schedule of the fingerprint. Perfect timing, really good. And then from February, got work permit received on May 2nd. So that would be February. Again, few months. That's really good. And then from the May 2nd, how much time will it take to... So you are looking probably at about, let's see, June, July, August, September, October. I would say around October, November 2022 would probably be the expecting period. But again, you have to look at the all of the delays that happen in the meantime. So anytime between now and a month and a half maybe, you should be hearing from USCIS. But I would recommend sending out a case inquiry. I've done an actual separate video on how to submit the inquiry with USCIS because it is a little bit, there is a little bit of delay in this final stage for your adjustment of status. So definitely submit that to kind of see where the case is at. Most of the times the response that you get from USCIS is very boilerplate, but what it allows you to do when you submit a case inquiry, once you receive that boilerplate response, first of all, you kind of nudge them and say, hey guys, can you please take a look at my case? It's been, pending for a little bit too long. But also, once you get that boilerplate response, you can actually call in and talk to a customer service representative, their own customer service they have, and schedule that appointment. Because if you did not submit that case inquiry, the customer representative on the phone, they'll just tell you, hey, go ahead and submit the case inquiry. So you're basically taking care of that step already before calling. But your case is moving along. Hopefully it will be a little bit faster without any more delays. But let's move on to the next question from Hardy Lyrics. Hi, please, I got a job in the US, but the employer said he is not capable of sponsoring my work permit, except I can do it myself. I told him I can do it myself, but am confused because I don't know the requirement I need to start the process. I'm in Nigeria. Okay, Hardy, actually really good question. So I've just done a video today, ironically, for the I-129 petition, which is the petition for non-immigrant worker. Now, the thing whenever it comes to sponsorship and the petitions in general, for whether it's immigrant status or non-immigrant status, it is the petitioner that files the petitioner, and in your case the petitioner is going to be the employer. So it is them that have to actually complete that petition to show that they're willing to sponsor an employee a foreign employee from outside of the United States. But whenever it comes to the documents like I-765, because there are fees, then those documents, yes, you can definitely apply yourself and submit. So it's kind of double-sided answer. On one side, it is them that have to submit the petition, the initial petition, but then you can take care of stuff like application for the employment authorization document. So you need to figure out with your employer whether they are, at least willing to petition for you, because without it, there is really nothing much you can do. You cannot really petition for yourself to be a foreign employee, if that makes sense. But the applications, like application for employment authorization document, you can take care of yourself, obviously going and applying for a social security and all that sort of stuff, that you can definitely do yourself. So hopefully I was able to answer your question. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. I'll be happy to answer. All right, let's move on from comment from Larissa. Your channel is everything. Thank you for doing this. You're very welcome, Larissa. Thank you for watching. I'm glad these videos are helpful. Let's move on to Joe Accountant. Oh, Joe Accountant, I actually remember Joe Accountant question, had his question answered in a previous video. Okay, to answer your question, excellent. I had a question for Joe. When my wife and I submitted her I-130, she was in the US. So we did not select consular processing because we believed she would be in the US when the form gets approved. However, she was sent back to her country, then the USCIS approved the I-130. I see. Okay, on the receipt for approval, they instructed me to file form I-824 to forward her I-130 to NVC. And then another comment from Joe. Thank you. Okay, Joe, you're very welcome, and thank you for following up with this information. It actually definitely helps. So yes, if USCIS says that they need I-824, I honestly, it's kind of silly. I don't know why they can just forward it to NVC, but I guess maybe they need some kind of paper record that says that, hey, we want you to file it to NVC. Just do the I-824. It's a very straightforward form, nothing crazy. In fact, I'm going to use it as another opportunity to do some navigation on USCIS website. We're going to go to forms, all forms, A24. And there we go. It's the application for action on approved application petition. So in your case, Joe, what you're going to need to do, I'm not going to go through the whole application, but there is a section here, reason for request in part 2. You'll select the 1D, USCIS to send my approved immigrant visa petition to the NVC. And obviously you'll have to fill out the whole thing, but this is what you will select. Again, I don't know why USCIS makes you do this. It's just they know it is approved. They know that the beneficiary is outside of the United States of America. Just forward the case to NVC, but it is what it is. But yes, in your case, you will have to file the I-824. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next question from Ohali Chimizi. Actually, 2 questions. So let's start with this one because it looks like there's some corrections. Hello, I'm F4 category from Nigeria. My priority date is 22nd March 2023. I was documentarily qualified in March 2020. Please, when should I expect my interview date? And then you send the correction. Sorry, my priority date is March 2007. And I was documentary qualified on 23rd March 2020. F4 category. All right, Ohali, thank you for asking this question. I'm gonna open up the visa bulletin from the Department of State. Basically, if you are not familiar with visa bulletin, if you have some kind of petition with the family immigration or employment-based immigration sponsorship programs, I-130, I-129, you will be dealing with Visa Bulletin. And Visa Bulletin is basically an update each month. As you can see right now, it's for March 2023. April 2023 should be coming out very soon. But basically, these are the numbers that are showing how long you will be waiting for the immigrant visa to be available. And there are 2 graphs. If we scroll down for the family immigration, there are 2 graphs. One is for final action dates, one is dates for filing. Now the difference between 2, I'm not gonna go into this in this video, but I've made a separate video. I don't know, here it is, understanding visa bulletin. That's where Ohali asked the question. Make sure to check it out. This is where I kind of describe the difference between two graphs. But from your question, Ohali, we got the documentary qualified in March 2020, and you were in F4 category. So F4 category is brothers and sisters of US citizens, and that's the last priority category, so it takes the longest. Now Nigeria is in all chargeability areas, so this is the first column right here, and as you can see, for the documentary qualified is the first one, A, right here. Final action dates are the priority date is March 2007, which means that people who have been documentary qualified back in March 2007, they are being issued that immigrant visa. So there is a delay. Wow, there's a long delay of from 2007 till 2023. Right now we're in March 2023. So there is a delay of 16 years. 16 years, which is a huge delay, unfortunately, a crazy backlog. So that means with a 16-year delay as of right now, because this is for March, and you have been documentary qualified in 2020, so assuming that there will still be a 16-year delay moving from now on, moving further, it means that you should be expecting to get the immigrant visa available to you sometime in 2036. Now, again, this is a rough estimation because things can speed up and things can get slowed down. In this video, I described the backlog, why it's happening, and what the problem with that is. But unfortunately, that's the answer right now. That's the best I can give you. I know it's not good news, and trust me, I can personally relate because I have someone who is an F4 category waiting, and they will be waiting for a very, very long time, and they're not even documentary qualified yet, unfortunately. But that's just, part of this immigration problem. It is a problem. It is a problem, unfortunately. All right, let's move on to the next question from Adrian Chichester. It's really unfair that a USA citizen to have to wait 9 years to have their son or daughter to have an equal opportunity. Just imagine you are retired and looking forward to have your child or children to be with you in your older age. You can't cause the system has failed you. No, immigration shouldn't take more than 4 years. Adrian, I 100% agree. In fact, even 2 years, honestly, for, if you're a US citizen and you're inviting your children, you're inviting your parents, obviously spouse, whenever it comes to unmarried children under 21, there is no limitation. Whenever it comes to the spouses of US citizens, there is no visa cap. So they're always available, and they're processed pretty quickly. Usually about 6 months to a year through USCIS, and then on the NVC side, couple months, few months, and then obviously the interview and all that stuff, and that's it. But if it's a married son or daughter, or if it's son or daughter who are over 21, there's a ridiculous amount of wait. Again, I don't know why Congress decided to make the cap on that particular category. I don't think there should be a cap on that category. But again, this is the whole immigration debate that is going on, and the backlog is a serious issue whenever it comes to that. So I definitely agree with you, Adrian, 100%. Let's move on to the next question from Immigrant Kingsley, and I'll try to answer questions up to here, Brahim. Okay, so this video is not too long, and then I'll get to the next questions hopefully in the next video. All right, from Immigrant Kingsley, thank you, sir, for your info. You're very welcome. F1 category, my mom filed for me, so F1 is sons and daughters. My PD is May 2015. Documentary qualified May 2021. I'm assuming May 2021. Still waiting for IL, almost 2.5 years now. When can I receive my IL? I tried to write to the NVC and I'm told no visa number available for me yet. Okay, so excellent question, again related to the family immigration. Again, same problem. So if you are documentary qualified and you're F1, May 2015, let's see, F1, documentary qualified May 2015. So right now, as you can see, they are processing stuff. They are giving immigrant visas for the cases that have been documentary qualified as of December 2014. So you're in May 2015. So you have less. You have about 6 more months to be patient, and hopefully, if things don't slow down, hopefully they will speed up. Honestly, but you don't have a long wait. You're almost there. So for you, it's good news. I mean, you've been waiting already for a very long time. The only thing, actually, you know what? The only thing. Oh, wait a second. So you're not documentary. Your priority date is May 20. Wait. Never mind. Your priority date is May 2015. So if your priority date is May 2015, that's. Let me ask you this to make sure, because I'm a little bit confused. Your priority date, is it your priority date, or are you referring to the priority dates here? Because if you're saying my priority date, it means that your case was received by USCIS on May 2015. They gave you the notice of receipt dated back in May 2015. In that case, you're relying to the priority dates that are mentioned here. And in that case, as you can see, right now they're processing stuff from August 2016. So they are already a year after. Because then you mentioned that you're documentary qualified in May 2021. And if that's the case, then you still have about 7 years. So I do need some clarification, because if my priority date does not apply to you, because it's not your technically priority date. It's the priority date that is currently being processed by visa by the Department of State. So it would be two different things. And for everyone who's watching, if you say my priority date, it means that your case have been received back in the whenever by the USCIS. If you say the priority date in general, then you're referring to the priority date that is listed here. So two different things, distinction. But in your case, I'm thinking that you're referring to the priority date that is listed in the visa bulletin, because you're documentary qualified in May 2021. So I'm sorry for the confusion. And if you can clarify that, I will be able to answer it in a little bit better detail. All right, let's move on to the next one from Harsh Shah. My filing date is January 2011 for F3. How much time after I'll get my US visa? Okay, so January 2011 for F3, that's the filing date. I'm gonna move to this one, F3. Dates for filing, that's the filing date. So let's see, F3. So if if your application has been received by USCIS back in, let's see, January 2011, and right now the priority dates that are being reviewed are November 2009. So you're about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, roughly 2 years. Let's do roughly 2 years behind. So as of right now, if things do not speed up and they do not slow down, you have about 1.5 years, 2 more years to wait for that immigrant visa to be available. So I'm gonna put that, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Guilumi John Mary. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. If I didn't, I'm very sorry. You have done a very good job. You're helping a lot of people who cannot afford to pay a lawyer to assist them in the process. Well, that is the goal of this channel. Thank you for sharing the kind words. It always means a lot to me. It makes me feel like, all the work that I'm putting into this is not in vain. All right. Let's move on to the next one from Brahim MK. Your explanation is wonderful. Can't find something clearer than this. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, let's move on. Cover another one from Ivory. Hey, good night. I'm documentary qualified since 2020. Family base F1 category. Priority date. Okay, so you see the difference between my priority date and priority date in general. So priority date in general is March 2015. Guyana, waiting a while now. Any possible of getting an interview this year? Okay, so if you were documentarily qualified in 2020, let's see what they process right now for F1. I look at these dates so much, but I still can't remember these dates. They change every month, so don't be surprised. Hopefully they speed up, but sometimes they do slow down as well. So F1 category, we have December 2014. You were documentarily qualified in 2020, so there's about 6 years delay for these dates. Let's see, from Guyana. Okay, so yeah, you're in all chargeability area, 6 years delay. So right now we are in 2023, and they're processing from 2014. So in should be in about 2020. Let's see, my math is not great, so you're probably gonna do much better job doing a math, but 2020, okay, so you didn't specify the month. Okay, so roughly you're probably looking at about 2029 if you have been qualified in 2020, because the delay as of right now is about 6 years. And again, it might slow down, it might speed up. So these predictions, they're not 100% guaranteed predictions, because these numbers always change. Just make sure you stay on top. Like I said, these visa bulletins, they come out new ones every single month. I'll put the link in the description below. Just click on the visa bulletin if it's the old one, and it will give you an option. You see the April is not available yet, but it should be probably a week or so. Move on, let's do another question. So professional, thank you for watching. All right, last question for today is from Egger12. How long does NVC takes to change visa category from F3 to F1? Priority date is March 2015. Okay, excellent question. So if your priority was for F3 in 2015, March 2015, let me take a look. Priority date, actually it's not documentarily qualified, so 2015 for the F3. Okay, so this is, I'm thinking this is your priority date, not the priority date that is listed here, because priority date that is listed here is November 2009. Now the difference between the F3 and the F1 is about, let's see, about 7 years, 6 to 7 years. So if you were 2015 priority date and F3, so you have about 6 years delay currently. If you are able to change that, then this 6 years delay, it's going away, and you become, visa availability opens up to you pretty much right now. Now, whenever it comes to the changes of status, I'm not sure if you have already submitted the request to the NVC or not. Usually from the day that you submit the request, it's about 3 to 4 months. Now, with that being said, if somebody else is watching, if you don't have the visa that is available to you immediately in the other category that you are trying to change to, this request might take longer. In fact, it might take much longer. But in your case, Oeger, it might be pretty quick, 3 to 4 months, I would say. Why? Because if you do change it, once you change this from one category to another, the immigrant visa becomes available pretty much instantly. All right, so let's move on to the next. That's just a thank you. You're very welcome. And on this thank you, we're gonna end up, so this video is not too long. If you have any additional questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll try to address them in the next video. Always appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.